Comedy Sim, the podcast you can't resist. Stephen Michael James, the host you won't wanna miss. From Seattle to the world, his humor will persist. Join the fun, get ready to enlist. Spitting fire on the mic.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. It is the Comedy Simp podcast. Back again, Stephen Michael James with the one, the only, Alli Knowles.
Thank you for having me.
Did I pronounce it correctly?
Yeah,
Knowles.
Alli Knowles. Yep, like Beyonce.
Yeah, I was going to say, any relation to Beyonce?
Yeah, no, it's my stage name is actually based off of this tattoo here. It's the symbol Alli Knowles, and that
Okay.
was my rap name when I did SoundCloud rap. And so Alli Knowles came out of Alli Knowles.
Whoa. So much to unpack there. How many tattoos do you have?
Like 60 something.
60. Holy
Yeah.
cow. When was the first tattoo you ever got? Like when you remember it?
The first tattoo I ever got was this one here. It says Jesse Sparkle.
Jesse Sparkle.
I got this when I just turned 19, and I was in a jail cell in Minnesota.
Whoa.
And my cellmate did that for me because I got arrested protesting the Republican National Convention in 2008.
Okay. All right. Let's unpack this here. All right. So, Alli, you and I, we're both close to the same age, a few years younger than me. We come from we're the older millennial generation. You're born in the 80s, late 80s, right?
Yeah, 88.
Yeah. So, you're like my sister's age, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I could be your brother. In fact, I would rather trade my sister in right now for this sister, huh? Craig, what's up, man? Good to see you.
Hey.
Casey, what's up, man? Good to see you. See, the comedians are rolling in.
They're coming. They're going to be here.
So, I wanted to get you on this podcast because, this is my excuse to sit down with people, learn about people.
Yeah.
I don't remember the first time I saw you, but I know that you made an impression. So, it was sometime last year. It had to be Club Comedy or Comedy Bar, but I seem to remember you had a joke that was something about that you're on the wrong side of history or something.
Oh,
like that.
yeah,
That was
that's
one of your first jokes.
Yeah,
right?
one of my go-to openers
Yeah.
is I'm trans, autistic, and a lesbian. So if you don't laugh at my jokes, you're on the wrong side of history.
Yeah. And I remember that one. So there's, this podcast is called Comedy Simp.
Yeah.
My friend Nick Cody, comedian, he called me the Comedy Simp because I really like comedy and I love comedians. And as far as I know, I'm kind of the first person that's really championing local people. Jason Duman. What's up, man? Look at this. More comedians here.
They're just pouring in.
My brain is just... I don't know where I was going there, Alli.
Yeah. You're a simp for the concept of comedy.
Thank you. Yes. You know what a simp is.
Yeah, of course.
You probably have simps out there on the internet, right?
Oh, yeah. I make money off of random men on the internet all the time.
This could be a good episode. But, there's just certain people that if they have something like a bit that I really like, I remember it. It's like a good song, and, I want to talk to those people. Why does that make me laugh? What is it about it? And, this is what we're doing. So,
Yeah.
we
fuck
talked
with
a
it.
little bit on the way over here. First of all, what's your impressions now? Whiskey Mile, first time here. You spent a lot of time in Kirkland?
No, I've been to Kirkland like 3 times ever.
Yeah, so you've been here 12 years. We're talking about it. Originally from Indiana, right?
Yeah.
You moved here in 2013.
Yep, because this shit don't fly in Indiana. So.
Yeah. How did you have a lot? Did you have tattoos before you moved here?
I had a few. I did not have this many.
Yeah.
Because I moved out here when I was like 25.
Uh-huh.
So I had like 6 or 7 tattoos, but they were pretty big. Like I was, I didn't get a lot of small tattoos back then. It was pretty if I'm gonna get something big that's gonna stick.
Now, can I ask you a personal question?
Go for it.
Do you enjoy the pain from a tattoo?
Oh yes,
You do?
very much. Yeah, it's like meditative.
You know?
Tattoos are the one thing I don't get high before I go to.
Yeah. Well, and they wouldn't like that either. You know, they want you to be clear-headed. They don't want you to bleed or pass out.
I mean, I've smoked weed with my tattoo artist before. That's not true.
That's not a drug.
That's fair. Yeah, if we're not counting weed, then yeah, they want you to be sober.
But yeah, I mean, tattoos. You know, I had this one. This is the one I got like, you know, a couple months ago, and it's nothing. It's just a little something, but I don't know, man.
Wrist is rough.
There's this big Mexican guy, and he was pushing down to, you know, I have a lady who does my normal stuff. This is one of those Friday the 13th kind of. Me and my wife went there to just go have a fun Valentine's Day or what. I don't even remember what it was for. It's probably Valentine's Day, or Friday the 13th. That's what it was. And yeah, this guy, he was just he was an old school big Mexican guy. And my first tattoo that I have on my chest, same thing, is of a big Mexican guy. And yeah, I miss that. You know, a lot of Mexican people in Indiana.
Surprisingly, yeah.
Really? Oh, nice. We love the Hispanics on the Comedy Sim podcast. We don't like what's going on right now.
Yeah, no, my parents, my sister's godparents are Mexican, actually.
Yeah.
Shout out Danny and Lupe.
Yeah. Well, it's such a, I mean, being from California, you said you spent time in California too.
Yeah.
When was that?
I was born in Indiana, and then we moved out to LA when I was like real little, like early elementary school age. And then we were there until the summer between middle school and high school. And then we moved back to Indiana, which is kind of like growing up in the chocolate cake factory. And right before you're able to buy your own chocolate cake, going like, this factory's closed now, actually.
Yeah, I've had a few situations like that. You know, like I moved to Oregon when I was 18, and I was there for almost a year. And then, like, for whatever reason, I moved back to California with my mom and all. And, like, part of me regrets it, you know. No. Did you ever have any instances like that where you move somewhere and then you're like, this is not a good idea?
I've had neighborhoods I've moved to.
Yeah. But overall,
the
journey's been a good journey so far. Well, I
tend to make good choices as far as like location.
So, how have things kind of changed around here? Because, you know, I first visited this place in 2015. Moved up here in 2019. I live far outside of Seattle, in the suburbs, where they fly Trump flags everywhere. I think I might even saw a Cybertruck or two out there. But how's things changed though since you came here?
There's a lot less like small venues. Like every bar used to double as a venue for like concerts and stuff, and like. There were a lot more like houses that did like regular house shows and stuff. So if like you were plugged into the local scene, it was a lot of fun. Those aren't around as much. A lot of places have been kind of bought out by like developers or like hedge fund management, whatever companies, and have kind of got corporatized. They're not fun like they used to be. Like on Cap Hill, if you know Comet, the Comet Tavern, that place used to be a rockin' place. They had shows like every weekend. Crazy weird acts you'd never see anywhere else.
That's like one of those legendary like Pearl Jam, Nirvana type places. Yeah.
And now it's like owned by the people who own Red Robin, and it's just a regular bar.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah.
You know, we're from the kind of similar generation. I miss like being a young kid and going into big cities and seeing those weird little like hippie stores. You know.
Yeah.
Just when things were just. I don't know if things were more affordable back then or if people just took more chances, but yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, only been here 6 years now. Like, it feels like just everything that was cool is slowly disappearing.
Yeah.
Remember the car wash, the elephant car wash?
Yeah, the
sign?
pink elephant.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah. And now there's just a giant concrete pyramid, like not pyramid, prism.
Yeah.
Just a big rectangle.
It's a goddamn pyramid scheme.
It is.
So yeah, we don't have to talk too deep into it, but you said
free my man Luigi.
When you started comedy, you said you were getting out of a long relationship, marriage, and you said comedy was something you always wanted to do, and so it's kind of like the catalyst to get things going. But what about when you were a kid? What was the kind of stuff who was making you laugh when you were younger, like comedians, movies, that kind of stuff?
I saw a George Carlin special on HBO when I was very young.
This is crazy. He's come up on this podcast so many times. Like, everybody saw something of him as a kid.
Yeah.
We were way too young to even understand it.
Yep, and just the way he played with words really got me. And I remember repeating a lot of those jokes in the playground and getting laughs from other kids and being like, this is what I want to do, you know? We good?
Just got to do the video check, you know. I've
Yeah.
had some bad instances where I did a podcast and then it got audio's not working. Even last week I didn't have, well, I wasn't even planning on doing, well, we're rambling here. So I also fidget with my keys.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide. I'm not autistic, but I do have some ADHD tendencies.
There's a lot of comorbidities there.
Yeah. My daughter is severe ADHD, like cannot sit still, and going down the non-medicine route right now. I'm like, I'm just going to have this crazy kid as long as I can take it, you know. So she's going to be 7 in a couple months, and I mean, this kid is like, you know. And it's fun. It's fun, but like.
Yeah, ADHD meds are bad for kids, honestly. Like, you should let them be unmedicated. If they're an adult,
Yeah.
and they want to get some medication and like try to focus, cool. But like as a kid, that shit'll fuck your brain up.
I agree. I mean,
You can't start doing artificial meth at like 11 and come
Yeah.
out all right.
yeah, exactly. You know, I wasn't. It seems like everybody here is like bipolar. Or, you know, I wouldn't say I am, but you know, I've got the classic depression. You know, and when I was a teen, I tried the different meds. You know, the Prozac, Effexor, Wellbutrin, and ultimately, I just started smoking a ton of weed.
Yeah.
And then that came up to its own problem. Once it's too much, then I start to go psychotic. But
Yeah. I'm bipolar.
yeah. So
And
you
I'm
take do you do medication
unmedicated.
for it?
I am currently off all psychiatric medication.
Nice.
Have been for about 7 years.
And was it? You think it was a good choice to, or was it hard in the beginning? Because I would imagine getting off that kind of stuff would be.
Well, like I didn't get diagnosed with bipolar for a long time. They just kind of said figured it was anxiety and depression, which is like pretty common because like my manic episodes don't present in like big fucking like over the top shit. It's just I make really rash decisions. Like I'm in a manic episode right now. I tattooed this on my hand like 2 days ago. Just got home from work and just started
do you
doing
have a
it.
machine at home?
No, I do stick and pokes.
Okay.
I have like half my tattoos are stick and pokes I've done on myself.
Nice. I know these guys down in Tacoma that run a show, and they might love to have somebody do a stick and poke tattoo live on stage. That would
Oh
be-
yeah,
I
I'll
would-
tattoo
I would
people while
sign
they do
up for that.
comedy.
In fact, we're gonna make a clip about this right now, and then we'll set this up. We'll have you give me a tattoo in Tacoma.
Hell yeah,
Let's do it.
I'm down.
You ever been down there, Tacoma?
I've been to Tacoma a few
Like
times.
the comedy club, Tacoma.
I've not been to the comedy club. No.
Okay. I know right now with your transportation, you don't drive, right? You
No.
Yeah. Definitely, if you can, try and figure out a way to get down there.
I've had multiple people tell me that I should do Tacoma.
It's you know, Seattle's one of those places where I'm still trying to figure out how to consistently be funny. You know, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Tacoma, it's a lot more my style, you know, because
Yeah.
people are saying things that I wouldn't even say in my personal life, and they're saying it on stage. So
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
not like
I'm
a crazy conservative area, but it's definitely less liberal.
Yeah, well,
So-
and it's just fun. Like, there's just more wild people down there. You know,
Yeah.
there's some people, they're open micers that I think are either mentally ill or possibly in halfway houses. Like, there's some characters, you know. Whereas up here, you know, everybody kind of knows everybody, and you know, it's till you come to like some of
We
these.
have a couple characters up here, like
Yeah.
Juggalo Jake.
Oh yeah.
You should have Juggalo
I
Jake
love-
on this podcast.
Oh yeah. Well, I would love to have him on. He featured here. He was the first. He was going to feature that night that Sam passed away. He was here. We were all ready to go. He was painted up. I was so excited, and then, you know, shit happened. But Jake came back. He did his stuff, and you know, Jake has a couple things that I wouldn't think go over well in Capitol Hill, but
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know, he's a trooper, and he's out there, and you know, the thing is, like,
I sometimes question if he has the level of self-awareness to know that he's not doing well, or if he fully is just like, I'm killing it.
Yeah.
Because he acts like I'm killing it, and
Well,
I love him for it.
some of the like he did this thing that I really liked where he was like he compared a like a juggalo to a gigolo, and I was like that was actually a really good good smart.
I can see it
He's
in my
like,
head.
A juggalo does this, or and so. And I loved, I've kind of I have a fondness for the juggalos now. I used to be on the hate bandwagon when I was younger, talking shit, just like I talk shit about Nickelback and all this stuff. But at least with the juggalos, I'm like, they really did create this kind of this community for people that were outsiders, and they come there. I mean, I'm pretty sure 3-6 Mafia was on one of those.
Oh yeah,
those gatherings.
I've been to the Gathering of the Juggalos a few
you?
times.
Yeah.
As much nos as you can inhale. Let me tell you, it's an all-you-can nos buffet.
Yeah, that's I don't do a lot of drugs, but that's one where I'm a fan of it. And
have you done the Galaxy gas yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those giant canisters. I love bringing those to a party.
Yeah.
I bring people be cutting up Coke, passing around a plate, and then I just follow it up with a canister of gas. It's two great tastes that go great together.
Most of the people I know around here are not really into that kind of thing. So, but yeah, when me and another comic, when I first started this, we were out there in the parking lot, taking some deep breaths and talking very low, but yeah, because that's. I got a kid, I got to be careful about stuff, fentanyl and all that kind of stuff. So even the ketamine is it's a gamble, the people that I get it from, I trust, but I try to stick to mushrooms or weed or I like gas because I know where that's from, but
I have a fentanyl bit that I used to do that I liked. I retired it not out of it didn't work or anything. It was just I've been doing it for a while kind of thing. But it's
that's good to
definitely
expand.
it's in the rotation of if I ever film a special or whatever, it'll come back because it's these kids today with their fentanyl test strips. Yeah. I'm out here with a hope and a dream. I used to do fentanyl on purpose for fun. I want to sleep for 16 hours.
Oh, dude, that sounds amazing. I have a dog that's dying at home, so I wake up every 2 hours to take her outside. I haven't had a good night's sleep in years. So yeah,
sick pets are rough.
That first night after she's gone is gonna be rough, and then I'm gonna sleep for 16 hours.
Yeah, there you go.
And I'm probably gonna take all the tramadol that she left over for me too.
We love a good muscle relaxer.
Yeah. We like to have a little bit of fun with drugs and stuff like that. What was kind of when you were younger, kind of the first thing that kind of gave you the itch that you got curious about?
I drank alcohol for the first time when I was 8 or 9.
Wow.
Just because my parents were alcoholics, so I just saw it a lot. So I was I wonder what this is about.
My mom was a pothead, so it was a very easy transition for me.
And then I started doing coke when I was 11. So
wow, can't even imagine. I can't even remember being 11.
I barely do now too. But it's
And so, how do you know what it is? I mean, did somebody introduce it? You don't have to give name names, but somebody introduced it.
I got in with a bad crowd. Yeah. Long story short, and. You don't really get into hard drugs at that age because you want to. It's mostly people kind of hoist that on you. Got involved in some not so savory activity for about 3-4 years, and then we moved back to Indiana, and then kind of had to go cold turkey because I was a 14-year-old in the middle of rural Indiana with no job, no car, and no connection. So it's I'm not going to get any coke. So I just cold turkey quit. And my parents never knew I was doing any of that shit. So I just detoxed in my basement for 3 days. And just my family motto might as well be ignore it unless it's killing you.
Yeah.
So they just ignored it. They were just whatever.
Oh, feel free to eat too.
I've been eating.
Don't eat on podcast, but I don't want your food to get cold either.
First podcast ever. I'm going to break all the rules.
Yeah. Break them. Break the goddamn no. Are you cool with your parents?
I'm cool with my mom.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's it's.
My dad hasn't talked to me since I
Hey,
transitioned.
what up, man? This is Jeff. This is our sound guy. This is Alli. She's featuring tonight.
Hello.
Jeff is he's a boy. He's my boy. Used to be in a band back in the day on Victory Records. No big deal. But
Humble brag.
yeah, I mean, we don't. I don't need to like get into like your whole like childhood and stuff like that. But I can imagine, probably going through a lot of hard stuff growing up. So it's good to have that. At least you have one parent that's good and good around. I've had those situations where I didn't talk to my dad for 5 years, and
me and my dad have had 2 sentences exchanged in the past. Let's see, I transitioned into 2013, so 12 years almost.
wow.
The only time he talked to me was when I was at my sister's wedding, and my sister told me, she was like, "I really want you to come to my wedding because I love you, but I don't want you to fight Dad because me and my dad have been in several stand-up fist fights over the years.
Wow.
Even like well before I transitioned and stuff. We just didn't get along, and so I told her, I was like, I can promise to not start it, like
Yeah.
and then
Been
so
there.
she asked him to not talk to me at all, like that was the deal.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, great. And then after the ceremony, he came up to me like he was going to give me a hug because all of the friends and family are around, and he wants to make it look like we're still a happy little family. And I looked at him, and I said, if you touch me, I'm going to break both your arms in front of your whole family. and then he said, whoa, don't try to be a tough guy. And then I pulled a knife, and my mom dragged him away from me.
He probably deserved it,
Oh, no, he's like a bad person. He's like rich and a neoconservative.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Like he's actively like he is one part of the problem. Like he is why we are in the political situation we are in, at least partially.
I think a lot of the problem with people, there's a lot of problems with people, but I think in that sense, in general sense, is that exposure. I'll say even to me, like having I would always feel like I was, pro-gay. I was friends with gay. My mom had gay friends that came over when I was a kid, and like when you're a kid, it's a little weird, and then you get used to it. But like when you have a child, I had to really think about it. I'm like, if my daughter grows up and wants to be trans, what would I feel about that? And at first, I was like, I don't know. I would. That's my little girl. I don't want her to change. That's what I want. But then like I hang out with people like you, people like JoJo, people other trans, and it's like it's all good. Like what's the deal? Like just once you're around, it's like people that have never been around a black person before.
Yeah.
It's just like they're scared. They have all these misconceptions, ideas, and then it's like, well, it's actually no. It's just not a big deal at all.
Yeah. I mean, like part of that is also like people tend to have this idea of their children as like an extension of themselves.
Yeah.
Instead of like thinking of them as like their own whole person.
Yeah.
So it's like them doing something that you might not agree with feels bad because you're like, oh, they're my child. You're like, no, they're just another person.
Yeah.
And like if you wouldn't care if some stranger was doing that, then why would you care if your daughter was? You know?
Yeah. I think maybe it was my lack of parental or my lack of father figure growing up, but it's I don't know why I said my brain's not working. That fucking kratom. Yeah. No, I think it's just like me not having my dad around when I was younger. I don't know. Like I just saw a lot of dads and stuff. Like I did wrestling for like 2 years and then I quit. But I remember like the wrestling dads that would like they would buy the custom suits for their kids, or like when I was in baseball, like the dads that had like the big pool parties or the custom bat and all that. And I never had that kind of stuff. So, it's that was an extension. That was like the dads were trying to like let them live through them. And like, I play music and stuff like that, and I like try to get my daughter to play, but eventually I'm just like, she's just gonna do what she's gonna do. Like if she wants to play, cool, but I'm not gonna. I got my own life, I'm gonna do my own stuff, and I don't know about your dad's hobbies or whatever, but I have always had this thought in my head, and one of the reasons I started comedy is that so many parents and adults, they give up everything for their kids. So we have the parents that never spend time with their kids, never give them love, that do whatever. And then you have the opposite, the ones that give everything for their kids and then they resent them. And then when they get older, they don't have the things that they enjoy doing and they're just totally unhappy. And
Oh yeah.
so maybe me doing the comedy thing, it satisfies that need to want to express myself. So I don't need to force her to do something like that, you know. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh no, totally. Like my parents, my
So
dad.
I don't know if your dad has hobbies or anything like that.
He
But
didn't for a long time. We like when I was really little, he still did a lot of stuff, and then he got very serious about his job and got a bunch of promotions. That's how we got to like the point where he's a millionaire now. So he did that.
1%.
Yeah, right. Yeah, kill him. I'll give you his address. But they
Is he a CEO? No.
yeah, he's the executive vice president. Close enough.
Yeah.
He basically like made the deal with my mom of I'll work really hard and make enough money to take care of the family, so I don't have to do anything else. You take care of the kids.
Yeah.
So he had no interest in being a father, and then resented us for the fact that he had to work so hard that he gave up all his hobbies so he could be rich to take care of his family. And my mom was very involved in our lives until we moved to California, at which point she became an alcoholic California wine mom, like popping Percocet and drinking wine all day. And so then there was just kind of, then it was just me and my sister unsupervised for the rest of our childhoods, pretty much.
Sister older or younger?
She's almost 2 years younger. She's like 22 months younger than me.
You guys cool? You guys?
We're cool. We went through a period where we weren't just because like we didn't talk.
Yeah.
Because like we lived in the same house, but like I would literally go like a week and a half without seeing either of my parents.
Yeah.
In the house, so like I would also not see my sister very often.
Yeah.
So like we just kind of fell out and didn't really talk to each other or fuck with each other like that. And then after I graduated high school, went to college, we started talking again because she got on Facebook. Because this is back when, I don't know how many people remember this, you used to have an EDU web email to get a Facebook account. You had to be a college kid.
Yeah.
And so when that finally opened up to non-college kids, because my sister didn't go to college, she got a Facebook and then added me.
07 or 08, something like that. Like that was right after YouTube.
Yeah,
Wow.
the opening from needing an EDU I think was like 2008, 2009.
Well, you know, it's good that you guys are cool now, and they should be proud of you because you're doing good out there. I mean, I saw you the other night at Club Comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, doing comedy less than a year, already like the finalist in a contest. You know.
Yeah.
And you had some tough competition. I mean, to me, I've been in a couple competitions, and for me, I'm not trying to win because I'm just like, I know I'm not one of the best, but you had some good people there. You had Brendan Meeks, you had Trenton Cotton, I think, and
He won the whole thing, I think.
He won, Trenton?
Yeah, I believe so.
Well, that guy is a ringer. Do you know what that guy does? That guy is a full-time comedian.
Oh, wow.
And he tours with Nate Jackson, and he just got off a European tour. The guy is like, Nate Jackson's doing these thousands and thousands of people, and Trenton's up there, right? Like opening the show, you know, like getting all the practice in. So, you know, it's kind of unfair, you know. But, you know, it's...
Yeah, the first night I was up right after him,
Uh-huh.
and it was very funny because, like, his whole set was, like, not his whole set, but, like, 80% of his set was jokes about gay people and, like, something about rainbows and all this stuff. And I came up and the first joke I did was, so I'm a trans lesbian with rainbow hair. Trenton's going to hate this whole set.
Yeah. That's such a, I mean, I think it's changing now, but, like, in black culture especially, it's, like, super, it's always been homophobic, like, and I think it's because a lot of those guys are in the closet, you know.
I mean, it's mostly the, like, Christian, like, value kind of stuff.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. That's true.
That's why, like,
But not Catholic.
No. But that's why, like, you're seeing a lot more, like, queer representation in, like, the Gen Z, like, black community is because they're all much more secular and raised by secular parents than, like, because like the secularization of like white culture happened a few decades faster, basically, than in a lot of other cultures, like the Latino culture and like black culture. And so like so you're finally starting to see a move away from that largely, and like the moralization and stuff,
What's up, man?
which is positive. Hey, good for them.
Well, other than comedy, I mean, how's everything else going? How's your life?
I mean, I have a stable union job that they can't fire me from, so like, hey, that's cool. I had 2 girlfriends, you know.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
Two. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a polygamist over here. No. Do they know about each other?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We've all hung out before.
Yeah, no, it's.
And they both have other girlfriends too.
Yeah.
One of them I've never met anyone else that they date, but I know they exist.
Yeah.
And then the other one, she lives like 5 minutes away from me, so I've hung out with her and her girlfriend a bunch of times.
Nice. Well, it's good, you know. Sometimes I recognize some manic stuff online, and I try not to worry. You're an adult, but you know.
I'm really good at handling it.
I just want to make sure that, you know, you stick around. You know, we want to enjoy your
I know.
presence and your comedy and all that. What was dating like when you were younger?
I've always been relatively good at it.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of trans girls have this story of like, oh, I was never very good at being a man.
Yeah.
I was so good at being a man. That's how I know this shit's not a choice. Like,
Yeah.
I would just kept doing that shit. It was easy.
Yeah.
I thought that I was really ugly, and I was just always shocked that girls let me fuck. And then, like, one time I was hanging out with a bunch of female friends. Like, it was all girls and me.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked around the room, and I realized out of the 6 of them, I had fucked 5 of them. And I was like, why do all of you let me fuck you? Like, I don't understand. And they all were like, 'cause you're hot. And I was like, wait, what? I've been hot the whole time? Like, fully shocked. 'Cause yeah, that was an eye-opening moment of like, oh, I might be trans. I think like maybe it's just dysphoria.
So did you have like low self-esteem and stuff when you were younger? Or just
Yeah,
didn't-
probably.
Yeah.
That's a way to put it. I just didn't like the way that my body looked a lot. But like,
Yeah.
I liked me. I've always liked me. I think I'm very cool.
I identify with that too. I mean, I've had some issues and stuff like that, but like I recently, especially the last couple years, because I'm getting older, people have like complimented me because all the other guys my age are just rapidly aging like horribly.
Oh yeah, no. I've realized like at my age,
Yeah.
dudes my age either look like my dad or look like they're 20.
Yeah.
And there's no in between.
Yeah. So you would you say you have a preference on who you like to date, or you kind of more just go with the flow kind of?
I identify mostly as a lesbian. Like, I've fucked dudes before, but usually they're pretty feminine.
Yeah.
The way I describe my sexuality is if I think you'd look cute in a sundress, then I'll let you fuck me.
That's pretty good. That could be a great T-shirt, actually.
Right?
First piece of merch. We're gonna put it on. I'm gonna put a mock-up on the screen. Take that, YouTube.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I mostly date women. I mostly date other trans women at this point.
Yeah.
It's not like I didn't like decide it. It wasn't like I'm just a T for T. It's like trans lesbian. It's just that like the weirder I look, the less cis girls want to fuck me because like trans girls don't have an idea of red flags. Like if you're hot and tell them they're cute, they'll just melt. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, you think I'm pretty? Oh my god. Whereas like a cis girl looks at me and goes like, no. I know exactly how crazy you are. Get the fuck out of here.
So have a bunch of straight guys hit you up? Because that's what I would feel like if I was you. I would imagine that there's probably a lot of dudes that are like, think like, you're probably down just because
Yeah,
you
because
can't get pregnant.
Yeah,
That's why,
yeah.
So
Not as many these days. It's one of those things of like the more like, like the face and the hand tattoos
I mean,
and
once
shit.
you start establishing yourself and on.
Well,
People could probably pretty guess like what they're into and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
well, it's, even beyond that, it's just that a lot of people are intimidated to even approach me for non-sexual reasons.
Yeah.
Like just, I
You're
give
pretty
up.
tall. You're
yeah,
even
I'm,
taller than me.
Yeah, I'm like 6'1"
Yeah.
and like covered in like like the face that. Once I got the first face tattoo is when I noticed like a distinct change in how people approached me. And so, like, I used to get a lot of dudes hitting on me, and now it's like I'll get the occasional guy, and the second I say I'm a lesbian, instead of them, like, trying to argue with me, they just go, oh, okay, and they just walk away. Like, there's never a, like, are you sure? They're like, no, we can't argue with this one. She'll stab me. Like,
So, any of your girlfriends ever see your comedy, anything like that?
yeah.
Or have you ever
The
used any of them in your material? Like,
A little bit. I talk about, like, dating and, like, being a lesbian or whatever. I have not, like, I don't usually write jokes about people I'm with. Not as, like,
good plan, good idea. Yeah.
It's not even as, like, a
rule.
rule
It's
for
just-
myself. It just hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know. Just, like, I haven't had any big funny moments that have been like, haha, this will be a fucking bit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm too old for relationships that have big things.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not chill, I'm not gonna fuck you. Like,
That's a good rule. There's other guys that are my age that would they don't have any rules. Actually, their rule is the younger and dumber you are, the more likely that they're gonna try.
I mostly date girls in the early 20s, but not because I want to. It's because they're the only ones that don't immediately go no when they look at the face tattoos.
Well, and also they don't have the kids and all that kind of stuff too. So.
Oh, yeah, no.
When I almost got divorced a few years ago and just seeing what was out there, I was like, whoa, it's like everybody's either got kids or a lot of baggage. So
Oh, yeah.
happy to be where I am. But not to say that that's easy, but so what was the first place you ever did comedy?
Comedy bar on Cap Hill.
/bar.
Yep, comedy
So-
/bar rip.
And what was going through your head when you decided to do this? Were you just like determined? Had you gone there before?
No, so I passed by it and saw it because like they used to be the High Line,
Yeah.
like a vegan metal bar, and I really liked that bar. And I was passing by and I saw the High Line and it closed down, and I was sad. And then the next time that I went by, I saw it was a comedy bar, and I thought to myself like, ooh, fun. I've always wanted to do comedy, and then I just didn't do anything with that for a couple months. And then January of last year, I got divorced and spent a couple months just kind of wallowing, and then finally was like, I need to do fucking something. And then I remembered that I had seen the comedy bar there, and I live. You came and got me. I live like right in the neighborhood. So I just walked over for an open mic. I looked on their website for like if they had open mics and just went and did it.
Do you remember any of the other comics, like your impression of the place or anything like that?
The only memory I have of the first time I went, like that really sticks, is I met Kevin Hahn, who's like my bestie now, my comedy bestie.
Shout out to Kevin.
Love you, Kevin. But I met him, and he was talking to another guy who was a white guy who was talking about how he was from Argentina. And I was like, and I remember I walked over to their conversations and went, "Are your parents German by chance?" And then I remember I looked at Kevin, and at the time, with the haircut he had and just a little bit of facial hair, he looked like an older Mr. Beast. And I was like, "You look like a sad, depressed adult Mr. Beast." And then he turned that into a bit in his act like the next week about him looking like Mr. Beast. And then after that, me and him kind of clicked up.
See, there's got to be, I feel like already my brain is like working there. There's got to be another, because like I do a lot of joke, like wordplay kind of stuff. So like, what would be a better older Mr. Beast? Like what's a good, like there's got to be a way to address like a grandpa. Like you look like Beast Senior or something stupid.
The Elder Beast.
Look at that. See, it's a comedy team over here. Like we're workshopping that for you, Kevin. You can have that one for free.
See, but now he doesn't look like that because he let me give him a haircut
Yeah.
in his kitchen at 4 a.m. when I was on coke.
Oh, nice. What kind of haircut do you get when you're on coke?
I gave him a death hawk, and then he turned it into the Peaky Blinders haircut.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff.
That was a fun night.
So, coming up on a year, I mean, you're already doing some paid stuff. I mean, like, what, do you have any, like, kind of big goals that you want to do with this thing, or are you just kind of just hanging in there?
I've been thinking about going down to Austin and try to get on Kill Tony.
That would be great. I think that you'd do great on that.
I think that I have the sauce.
Yeah.
I'm problematic enough that they won't care that I'm trans.
Yeah. Well, it's yeah. You know, it's a tough thing because I don't want to like hurt anybody's feelings, but there's just a lot of comedy that is like they call it queer comedy and it's not funny, you know, and it's like being funny is to me the most important thing. Obviously, you don't want to offend people, you don't want to hurt their feelings, but you know, I don't think whatever you identify as has anything to do with your comedy because you just straight up like true shit, real stuff, real jokes, funny, you know.
Yeah, I have
situations.
bits about being trans or whatever, but like the way I always say it is, me being trans is probably one of the least interesting things about me.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think if any part of your identity that's not a thing that you're actively doing, just like a thing that you were born with, is a like central part of like your personality, you're probably pretty boring.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, I mean, not only do you have these little tiny things, but I think if you did the interview portion, I mean, you could just probably tell a story about some crazy ex or some crazy shit that happened when you were a teenager. I mean, moving around here or there. But yeah, no, I think that would be great. I think you'd be, you know, there's been a few people that I know up here that have been down there, and some of them have done okay, but nobody has killed it yet. So
Yeah. I heard Dejan was on.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. I think that was like, he must have just did that.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago, I think.
You know, I've watched that show a lot back in the day. I don't really watch it too much anymore, but
I've only really watched the clips.
Yeah.
Like, I tried to watch like one episode of it, and like when they're not funny, it's so painful that I just can't.
Oh yeah, it's.
So if somebody's funny enough to make it into a YouTube short,
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. It's painful sometimes watching other people's sets. Sometimes it's painful doing sets.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But watching ones that are not going very well, yeah. You never want to be that person. So.
Oh yeah,
Do you have any-
I'm not gonna name any names because I don't want to start any drama. But there is another trans comic in Seattle whose whole set is just like, I'm trans and like, ha ha ha, in jokes that only trannies will get. And I cannot be in the room. I have to go outside. I cannot do it.
I love that. I love this whole thing. And I appreciate that what they're trying to do, but it's like, you know, it's just my preference. You know, I like the crazy shit. I like the dirty stuff, the dark stuff, and yeah, I think
If your jokes are too inside baseball,
yeah.
then like you're just never gonna be funny. Like you have if you can't just say it to a random stranger on the street and they might laugh, don't do it in the club.
Yeah, and also like make sure that you think it's funny as well. Like don't just write jokes that, you know. I tried making jokes that like I thought like something about the Seattle rain or the coffee, and I was like, stupid. This is like, what am I doing? You know.
Yeah.
I don't want to do the. I don't know. I see these. I don't know. Everybody has their own goals and stuff like that, but for me, it's kind of like when you used to be a rock star back in the day, and then you get older and you're just playing cover songs or you're just playing your old hits. You know, I don't want to do that. You know, and it's the same thing with comedy. I don't want to do like that corny, like family friendly, like, you know, I'd rather perform for like, you know, these small bars and still do the stuff that I like than
I think I am
sell out. You know?
I think I am uniquely privileged as like a trans woman in Seattle that I get away with a lot more stuff.
Yes.
I added a bit to my set about that, where I just say like, God, I do 2 jokes in a row that are rape pedophile related jokes, and then I go, I'm the only one that gets to do this. I love being a trans woman in Seattle.
Yeah, I've had a couple rape jokes, and I actually had a mic cut off because I started singing "Rape Me" by Nirvana to try and get the crowd's attention, and the guy was like, "You can't say rape in Seattle." And so, I guess I can't, but so anytime I have a nice R joke, I'll send it to you, and it's all yours. You know? So.
I have a ghostwriter now.
So yeah, we're here at the Whiskey Mile tonight. Been here a little over a year, doing comedy, doing this podcast. Yeah, I don't know what. I'm just trying to figure it out too. I mean, like what you know, doing the. I like club comedy. You know, club comedy is a cool spot. I think when Comedy Bar opens back up, I'm gonna start going there again. You got to come down to Tacoma. Tacoma's a fun place. You know, my friends who do a show, it's called the Back Booth Bullies Show.
Oh, are they the ones that did the pregnancy simulator
Yes,
shit?
yes,
I saw
yes.
clips of that. That looked fun.
There is another trans comedian down there, and she's
we're
funny.
mutuals on Instagram.
Nancy, yeah, but she's the one I was telling you. She's into like that folk punk scene down there too.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So.
She looks like she's a folk punk kid.
Yeah, she does. You know, that's an inside joke for me and you. Like people don't. It's like Andrew Jackson Jihad. People are
Fuck
like,
yeah.
what? You know.
Andrew Jackson Jihad played in my friend's basement.
Oh really? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have
in 2007.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have some friends that they do folk punk in Sacramento, and so a lot of those guys. Jeff Rosenstock went through there, and there's a couple other bands and stuff like that. Yeah, it's good.
You know, I used to live in an anarchist commune.
Oh yeah, we didn't even get to any of that crazy stuff. So, what years where was this anarchist commune? Compound. Commune. So it was a happy anarchist.
Yeah.
We were positive anarchy.
I mean, we were mostly alcoholic punk kids.
Yeah.
But it was in the middle of Indiana. And yeah, it was just one of those things of like, if you live in like a recognized like anarchist commune, like there was a zine called Slingshot, and you could send in if you had a house that was open to travelers and other punks to come crash
Nice.
at. You'd send them the address.
That's
They'd post
cool.
it in there. So we'd get people coming through, and then that also means that like if a folk punk like act is coming through, they'll hit you up to do a basement show or a show in your living room or whatever. So we'd host a bunch of like the guy who did like Johnny Hobo, Wingnut Dishwashers Unit, Ramshackle Lori. His name's Pat the Bunny. That guy slept at my house.
Wow.
Like in my bed. I met the people from Ghost Mice, and then like just a bunch of those like old fucking like riot folk punk kind of acts. Yeah. And so like yeah, it's always funny when I meet like young kids now who are into folk punk and they start like putting on like the old stuff like Andrew Jackson Jihad. I'm like, I smoked weed with these guys once in like 2008.
Back when they were nobody. That's cool, and it's like, you know, you could have just went to work, gone home, watched TV, but no, you had some fun adventures. Now, I want to go back before we run out of time. Mm-hmm. We still have some, but you said you were arrested for protesting the Republican convention.
No, in 2008.
In 2008. That was what? Mitt Romney? Was he running? Is that what it was? Or was that John McCain?
Yeah, no, McCain was the first one, so it was McCain.
Was John McCain, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a former military guy. I knew he did a lot of stuff for Native Americans and all that.
He was a POW in Vietnam.
Yeah, there it is. See, I knew something. But, this is not a very political show.
Yeah, but yeah, I lived in an anarchist commune. Like, you know, we do protest shit. So when I got beat by a cop to the point that I have like a traumatic brain injury still, which is probably why I'm as good at comedy as I am, because my amygdala basically doesn't work, which means I can't feel fear, shame, or embarrassment.
Well, we'll see the numbers on this podcast, and
then
we'll see.
Some shame might creep in.
No, my lowest episode was like 26 views or something, but I have some with a few hundred, so.
Hey, nice.
This one, I have high hopes for this one. Okay.
This thumbnail?
Yeah, I know, right? We got the eye candy. You know, I'm gonna have the rainbow in the background. I don't know if you've seen the thumbnails. I always
Yeah.
do the rainbow thing. I try to get people to look and stuff, but
I'll
so
try
yeah,
to, I'll try to get some good ones. Split tongue. See if we,
oof. So how do you? Where do you go to do something like that?
So it's technically illegal in most states. It's not like illegal. What it is that it's
Frowned upon.
well, it's classified as a surgical procedure.
Yeah.
So it's illegal for anyone who's not a licensed medical like surgeon
Yeah.
to do it, and no surgeons do it. So basically, you have to go to a piercing shop enough that you become friendly with the people, and then ask them about it.
Yeah.
And almost like 98%, somebody at that shop knows how to do it and will do it for you. But yeah, you have to get in and be cool. And then you come in like after the shop is closed
Yeah.
and do it in the back, and then you're not allowed to tell anyone where you got it done or anything.
Well, we're not saying where it was, but
Yeah, I would never.
I mean, how does it work? I mean, is it just a quick split? Is there pain? Is it painful? There's some numbing. I mean, I'm just totally look. All right.
Yeah, so they injected my tongue with lidocaine,
Okay. Okay.
so I didn't feel it while it was happening.
but
And
after,
then what they do is they take suture thread and like through the tip of both sides, they'll put the thread through, and one person will hold it out like taut as far as your tongue will go and out to the sides. And then the second person comes in with a scalpel in the middle and just cuts down the webbing in the middle. And then they suture up the sides on both sides, because if you just cut it in half,
yeah.
it'll fuse back together
Yeah.
in your mouth. So they
God,
just
I
suture the
thought
sides.
getting my dick pierced hurt. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I came when I got my dick pierced.
Where'd you get? Was it like a?
I took them out recently because my girlfriend didn't like the way it made my dick taste, and I'm whipped. But for years I had four-piece Jacob's ladder.
Look at this, like, just upstaging me in every aspect. Better comedian, taller, more piercings. You know.
Yeah, I think I have like 27 piercings altogether.
But hey, I bet I got more in my 401k.
I don't know. I don't
Oh,
have,
yeah, you got a rich dad.
I don't.
forgot
No,
about
I don't have a 401k. I have an actual pension plan because I have a union job.
that. Oh yeah, good shit. Yeah, so I had it was just the one. It was called the Oppendrava, where it goes straight down through the middle, and yeah, I bled for a while.
Brave.
And but
Brave.
I took it out after a couple years just because like this was like in 2005, and like back then it just, you know, the girls just weren't like they are now. You know, back then there was no ass eating, there was threesomes, none of that stuff. Yeah, you barely can get a blowjob. You know?
Yeah, no, I didn't eat ass for the first time until I was in college.
Yeah. That was your major.
Yeah, basically. That's what a liberal arts degree teaches
Yeah.
you.
Did you graduate?
Yeah, I have 3 degrees.
3 degrees. Holy cow. Genius, autistic. Yeah.
I have an IQ of like 148.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
They got me tested when I was little.
Well, I'm going to have to teach you how to start posting more stuff on Instagram then.
Right.
You know, because I have high hopes for you. I think, you know, I told you earlier, you know, I've seen a lot of bands over the years and like rock stars and, you know, there's just you need, whatever your aspirations are, they are what they are. But if you are going to become like a headliner and stuff like that, you got to be more than just funny. Like you got to be someone that people want to see, people that want to know what they're going to do next, you know. And
Yeah.
I think that you're already ahead of a bunch of people. You know, you got a style. You know, you're already posting stuff that other people aren't posting. It's like you're standing out. You know?
Yeah.
You're standing out.
I'm a bit of a
And,
maverick,
so-
one might say.
you know, like you and Brendan, who was also on your show. You know, I got to get better at my comedy and ease off the social media stuff a little bit because, yeah, there's some funny people out there.
Yeah.
Some really funny people. Are there any comedians that maybe you don't know but you think they're pretty funny, like in this?
In the local scene?
Not necessarily that you don't know, but maybe not your best friends.
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
but people that you think are pretty.
Yeah, I really like Quinn Fitzgerald. I think he's a
my
funny
boy.
dude.
Yes, Quinn is hilarious.
Like we're on like good terms
Yeah.
or whatever. We chat sometimes, but like
He's such a
I've
nice
never
guy.
hung out
He's
with
a
Quinn.
super nice guy. Super nice
yeah.
guy.
Really like Megan KD. I think is very funny.
Megan, oh, we'll talk about Megan afterwards, but she inspired one of my first jokes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because she has a joke and it's about being a mom, so I did a joke about being a dad, and it's like, and I took, like, she was one of the first people I saw, again, comedy simp. I pay attention to people and what they do, and she did not start her set by just like, how you doing, anything like that. It was just more like she went right up to the mic and just went straight into a joke. And I took note of that. And I don't always do that, but like, yeah, I mean, up until that point, I mean, everybody just kind of did this whole like, so earlier I was doing this and then that happened, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And so, and then that was only when I was early in comedy. So now I've seen tons and tons of people. She's a unique person.
Yeah, I
you
know.
She
She has
does
a
a lot
very
of funny,
unique
like,
voice.
cool videos, and I haven't seen. I mean, I don't know. I have this
and
feeling though, certain women don't like me because of people I've hung out with. Not
Yeah.
necessarily that I'm a bad guy, but I associate with guys that haven't been the nicest. So,
Yeah.
you know.
I get it.
Overall, though, I think people who know me are like, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Also, Yasmin Graber.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I just saw her. She just did a. She's doing a bunch of shows now.
Yeah,
too,
she's like getting booked, and she deserves it. She's honestly the first time I saw her, I got mad because it was her first time doing it.
Really?
And she was so funny. And somebody who asked her how long she'd been doing it, she said it was her first time. And I'd only been doing it like 4 months at that
Yeah.
point, and I was still like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, no, it's tough. But you didn't take comedy class, yeah.
No.
So that's one of the things that, I don't know if she did. That's not that nothing to do with what we're saying. It's just a lot of the new crops of comics that are coming up. I've noticed that they've taken classes, so which is cool if that's what you want to do. Some people need it, but I got lots of respect for people that just go up there and just try it out. You
Yeah.
know? And it's another way. Not every. I mean, there's a million ways to do it. Well, shit, we've been talking almost an hour. And it's been like whatever. So we'll do it again.
Hell yeah.
Anytime you want to do the podcast,
Fuck
or you
yeah.
got some shit you got to get off your chest, hit me up. I'll come to your place.
Sounds good.
So this year, goals. You're gonna do some more stuff. You're gonna try to get booked.
Yep.
Get you a nice video.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe some headshots.
Yeah, I'm going out to Vegas for like a week and a half in May. I'm gonna try to do some clubs out there while
I
I'm
might
there.
be going in August. I'm
Nice.
trying to plan something. In August they're opening up the Universal horror, whatever it is, the year-round experience, and I'm pretty stoked for that.
I'm going to
Obviously,
Electric Daisy Carnival.
Lots and
Because
yeah.
my girlfriend's 23,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
you got to do that shit sometimes
you
when that
gotta-
happens.
Yeah, make sure you rest up on that fentanyl on the flight there, because you're not gonna sleep for like 3 days. You know?
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
and we're also going out like 3 days before it starts and staying 2 days after.
Okay. Wow,
So-
that's a lot of time down there.
Yeah, so during that before and maybe after, if I'm not too hungover period, I'll try to do some comedy clubs in the area and see how it goes.
Any gigs coming up here in Seattle, Washington?
I'm at the Hereafter on April 6th.
Who's on? You know anybody else on that show?
I know Kylie Ann's on it.
Okay.
She's the person that put it together, and booked me for it. I don't remember the other people because I looked at the poster once.
Hey, all good.
But
Hereafter,
Hereafter, April 6th.
and you're always at Club Comedy
Yeah.
Bar.
Well, Comedy Bar's closed until fucking
well,
April.
when it opens up, we're gonna get you down to Tacoma.
Hell yeah, I'm down.
And
Book
yeah,
me, motherfuckers. I'm funny.
if you guys want to follow Alli,
Yeah.
it's
Alli Knowles comedy.
yeah, there it is, and we'll put it on the screen. And
Alli Knowles 666 on Twitter.
the X platform. Well, yeah.
Oh
So-
yeah, I forgot it's X now.
Yeah, so you're still on there, huh?
I got a new one so that I could post like comedy videos and stuff.
So here's the thing: is I don't agree with a lot of the stuff on that platform. However, I still think it's a good idea to promote your stuff on there.
Yeah.
And you can talk shit back. If they talk shit, you can talk shit back. So it's
Oh,
always,
yeah.
So I'll follow you on there too. I didn't know
Sweet.
you were on there. So yeah, no, this is great. Thanks for sitting down. Thanks for coming tonight. And I look forward to all the shit that you're
Yeah.
gonna be doing.
Looking forward to it. It'll be
So,
fun.
Follow me, Stephen MJ Comedy. Starting to get loud in here, and that's it. Thanks again.
Have a good night, y'all.
Rising up in the comedy scene, he's a force to be reckoned. Comedy Seal, the podcast you can't resist. Stephen Michael James, the host you won't wanna miss. From Seattle to the world, his humor will persist. Join the fun, get ready to enlist. Spitting fire